The bell. We have breaking news. We are now getting our very first look inside the Quicken Loans Arena in Cleveland. There it is on your screen. This is the Fox News Republican debate setup. Of course, it's tomorrow. For weeks now, the candidates have been telling us in sound bites what they think voters want to hear. But tomorrow, voters need to hear actionable ideas, not just, I'm going to be the best jobs president. Okay, how? How are you going to create jobs? Well, last night, GOP frontrunner Donald Trump got an early taste of how tough the debate might be when he appeared on the O'Reilly Factor. Here's how Bill O'Reilly pushed Trump to articulate with real hard ideas how to plan to get Mexico to pay up for the infamous border wall. Listen.
You're still not telling me how you're going to make Nieto pay for the wall. How?
Bill, it's simple. They're taking in billions and billions of dollars. They're building the Ford company, Ford Motor Company.
So you're going to stop all that trade with them?
No, I'm going to say Mexico, guess what? This is not going to continue. You're going to pay for the wall. And I've said they're going to pay for the wall, and they will pay for the wall.
And then Bill O'Reilly said they're not going to pay for it. And then Trump said we're going to pay for it. No, they're not. And there's Bob Cusack, editor-in-chief at The Hill, who landed a very important interview with Donald Trump a couple of weeks ago when we had you. You got him to admit that if things got ugly with the Republican National Committee, he'd go independent. And we're joined by Mike Murphy. He's Impact New Jersey founding partner and a Democratic strategist. Okay, Bob, that was an interesting push that Bill O'Reilly made, saying, no, you can say, I'm going to make Mexico pay for the wall, and Mexico will say, no, we're not. This is what it's going to be like tomorrow night, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult. I mean, certainly any time you have the front runner, their front runner is going to get attacked. I've talked to people on campaigns who will be, their candidate will be on stage, and they are going to go after Trump. I think there is an element of some may go after him very hard, but I think some are going to say, where are the specifics, Donald? What are you talking about? Now, Trump still has such a strong following, and he is doing so well in the polls. You know, maybe people aren't looking for policies. Maybe they're just looking for personality. And they've got one with Donald Trump.
Okay, they do, Mr. Murphy. But I have to tell you, these are tough voters. We just had Ray Leach, and he is a venture capitalist. He needs to hear, are you going to fix the tax system and how? People are forgetting the how.
People not only want, but they really need specifics. You know, build a wall and create jobs are great little sound bites. But one of my concerns is that the 9 other participants in the debate, this isn't the Donald Trump show, or although I think he will try to turn it into that, are going to get their moments, their clips from how they go after Trump. So it may wind up being an awful lot about the Donald in light of his 26 points or whatever his numbers are today.
But well, you can't push around Chris Wallace, Brett Baier, and Megyn Kelly, and they will not be suffering any foolish behavior very gladly.
You guys have put together an A-team that is not going to put up with a lot of foolishness and nonsense, which I think is good for the show and great for the public. One of the interesting things, however, I think is that there are debate watch parties all over the country, and Democrats are as or even more interested than Republicans. This is like the political Super Bowl that Fox is hosting tomorrow night, so it'll be interesting to see how it unfolds.
Bob, Fox will not disappoint, but perhaps some of the candidates will. Who's fighting for the most air? I would think Rand Paul really needs to come out. Well, they all do, but Rand Paul, John Cusack, some of them who haven't polled as wonderfully as they could and really need to get some attention, hence money, too.
Yeah, I think Rand Paul, it is a big debate for him because he has slipped. He had a very good 2014, 2015. His numbers have stalled, and he is, he did get into the debate, but not easily. Certainly, Cusack is rising a bit of momentum. He just got into the race. He sneaks in at number 10, doing well in New Hampshire overall. But I think the person to watch is Senator Marco Rubio, who really had momentum about 2 months ago, has suffered because of Donald Trump's rise. And we've looked at the numbers, and Rubio is the key player. He's very good, I think, in a debate setting. So watch for Rubio. Big night for him.
What about you, Michael? Who do you think needs to have a big night beyond Donald Trump?
Well, 4 years ago, Chris Christie was allegedly being asked to join the fight and become the presidential candidate, and turned it down. So his numbers were way up, and they're down now. He needs to demonstrate that he can be a leader. He just made this in number 9 under the tag, is to use the baseball analogy. So I think Christie and I think Ted Cruz. There's a lot of people, because Trump has dominated the news for the last several cycles. There are going to be people who need to get some attention and demonstrate their bona fides as legitimate presidential candidates.
Is the Hill having a party in the newsroom tomorrow night? Where are you watching this, Bob?
Well, I'll be in New York, but we have one of our reporters in Cleveland and hoping to grab a lot of the candidates afterward. And I agree. I mean, these guys have to attract media attention,
Sure.
and Trump is the master at that.
Great to see all of you, and we'll be watching it very closely.